I forgot to mention one of the things I forgot to say in the last video, um, in regards to the incredible experience I just had with my two boys. Um, when I got locked up, when my ex got me locked up, they tried to make digs about the fact that I homeschooled and that they were quote unquote concerned about the amount of time the boys spent playing video games. And I said, leave them alone. My boy said to me that they sent someone round to make sure that Chris was making them do schoolwork or something. Like they wanted to see whether the homeschool. I hadn't been told that. I didn't know that social services and the courts or whatever had sent people around to see whether my kids were dumb or not. And apparently the boys absolutely obliterated them because they wanted to question my mothering and maybe try and force the kids to have to go to school, and that, like, maybe, the way I was teaching them wasn't healthy or something like they were trying to suggest. Apparently this happened in like 2023, because they kept trying to question my mothering skills and the fact that I used the unschooling system. I was homeschooling them the traditional way. And then what happened was, on my son's 6th birthday, I think it was, I've got photos up on Instagram. I'll put them up on my YouTube, where I had a most profound experience there that changed my whole world, that stepped me on the path of becoming an evolutionary theorist. And we were in Birmingham. We took the boys to where Chris and I got married. But by this point, we had already announced that we were getting a divorce by that point. And we went to that dragon. So we went to the dinosaur safari park in Birmingham. We took them to where we got married at the old monks' rectory and everything. And it was kind of like, we were saying goodbye to the past, and showing the boys where it all began. And I had an incredible experience there where I started having those gravity issues. And I swear Morrison's in Ilkeston, I think it is, would still have video footage going back to that date, of me having gravity issues. Like, everything changed when it's like my mind was blown and pinned me to the ground or something, when I started working out evolutionary theorism that brought me to what I'm creating now, and quantum magnetics and everything. It all started that day when we took the boys to the dinosaur safari park. I've got the photos. Those events will stick with us forever. And I like I'm I can't even, like, I'm having trouble trying to just put it all into words. Everything changed. I met a beautiful young man there who was talking about the dinosaur eggs and all, because, like, Thomas was mad into dinosaurs, which was why we went there. I always made sure that their birthdays were their day and they got to choose what they wanted to do, and he wanted to go and see the dinosaurs. And it blew my world wide open. It changed everything. And we were talking to this young man, and he mentioned that he was homeschooled, and I said, oh, I homeschool. And so I started asking him, like, do you have any advice for me as a mother, what I could be doing to help them with their educational experience? And he said, if you really want my advice, he said, don't homeschool them, unschool them. He said, I was unschooled and I got to pick my subjects. And he said, and now this is like my last summer here, and I'm going off to university to be a paleontologist or something like that. He said, let your kids pick their subjects based on what it is they want to do. And then from that moment on, I changed the way that I educated my boys. And I had set them the task of observing the video games industry and social media, and like watching his generation when it came to video games and entertainment. And they were to report back to me, because these people were going to be our customers, our target audience, and our competition. So we needed to see what's out there. And I said to the boys yesterday, it was on after we watched Minecraft, all the other movies that we saw premiered before the movie started, we knew absolutely no competition. We're going to wipe the floor with them. But a movie like Minecraft is our competition. And even though we could have absolutely made that movie better, however, I'm not stupid enough to not recognise that that's making a lot of movie, because they hit the nail on the head with the video game. And the guy who invented that video game needs to be worshipped as a god and not disrespected the way he is, because like, if they go the way of Disney and all of this, then I'll get to rule the entire kingdom. But for now, the creators of that movie, they are our competition. I said to our boys, if we ever hit the jackpot with a video game like Minecraft, if we ever get like a Minecraft status video game, how are we going to deal with the brand? What are we going to do as far as, how far are we going to let people go with like using our content, and like producing merchandise and that, like how much, like how far are we going to go? And we had this incredible meeting, and it was like, in that moment I realised, when we were coming back on the bus, I said to them, they tried to say I was a bad mother. They tried to say that I let you boys play too much video games. And I said, this last day has proven that I made the right decision in everything I did, because what I set them to do, to observe and, get to know the video games industry and all that sort of thing, it's now paying off. What they've observed and what they've been able to do and correcting me, and give me a heads up and point things out to me, the trends and the ins and outs of it all, getting their feedback, has now officially built our empire, all because I changed the way I educated them, and I let them follow their own path, and I've created geniuses out of it. They've literally, at the age of 6 and 4.5, to what are they now, nearly 15 and 16 and a half, they've helped their mother build an incredible music and video game and social networking, social media empire. So unschooling them in the way I educated them wasn't so bad after all. Proving my point. My kids are going to own a video games industry younger than the boys, that's the Darling brothers that started Codemasters. They're going to own a movie production company and a radio station, and at like 15 and 16. So not bad. And they helped me build it too. It's not like I did it all, like I couldn't have done it without them. They were my left leg and my right leg, my left brain and my right brain. They absolutely helped me navigate my way through that tunnel from the age of 6 and 4.5 to 15 and 16.5. They've been right beside me. So I kind of proved them wrong, eh? Look what I built. I'm so proud of my boys. So no one can say nothing about the way I educated my kids. No one can say nothing about the way I raised my kids, because even they're starting to get it, and they're becoming protective and defensive and affectionate. And yeah, it's like we've built a whole new everything. And it's like the veil came down the second we got together on the 17th of April, and we walked into that movie. And it's almost like we knew something was coming, because we were all just incredibly in high spirits. All three of us kept saying how much we were looking forward to that day. It's like we knew something was coming. And we went into that, we were laughing, we were like, and like real belly laughing, like we were just being so silly. I screwed up, made like I embarrassed myself so bad, but like in a really funny way. And then we watched that movie. It's like we went in like we knew something was coming. For the couple of weeks that we'd been waiting, we knew something was coming, and we came out the other side of that movie completely changed. And then it's like all of a sudden, it was like opening the gates to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It was like all of a sudden the gates to the entertainment factory open wide, and all three of us could see it right in front of us. The future. And suddenly everything fell into place. And then, we brainstormed the Van to Black thing, and the way we were going to do Save Our Soul, and how we were going to do the show, and like everything just fell into place. So no one can say nothing about how I raised my babies, because I'm going to make them very rich, very young, just because they believed in me and they protected me, and they kept my head above water. Because getting to them and saving them and getting us justice is all I've been focused on. So I'll do whatever. It's a mother's love. There's nothing a parent will do to save their kids. I just got reminded of that just now in a video I was watching. So yeah, I will put photos of that day up, but they are already up on my Instagram and that, but I'll put them on my YouTube thingy of that day of my boy's birthday, because that whole weekend changed my life forever. And I'm so glad it did. So out with the old and with the new, eh? I'm just so proud of my boys, and now they can all shut up about how I raised my kids, because it's all about to pay off in dividends. It's going to make a lot of investors a lot of money, including my own children.